I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. Josh here, Oreo Express. Happy Wednesday. What is the date today? I should know this, the 26th. Man, how time flies. Wednesday, the 26th. Thank you for tuning in. You're in for a wild ride today. We got a good show for you. Thank you for tuning in. Let me make sure we are good to go, that we have everything on here. We are live. That works. That works. We got Kay, Texas. How are you? We got Pixie, Melissa, Anaya, Trina. Hello. Hugs and loves to all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Trump had his first cabinet meeting, so we're going to bring you some highlights of that. We're also going to talk about an assembly bill in California. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere, but just the fact that somebody would even bring this up, it literally takes away the ability to defend yourself. And the person that put this bill forward is getting a lot of kickback, even came out and said, hey, wait a second, that's not what the intention was, when the bill clearly lays out the verbiage and the wordage to take away your rights to defend yourself if someone comes into your house. And we're going to get into all that. Let's see. Why does this thing keep going away? I got this. There we go. Let's put it on live. Melissa says, how's everyone doing this morning so far? We're going to be doing great, right, guys? We're getting better by the day. And as we cover today's some of the morning's topics and some stuff that happened last night, we're even going to get better. I thought this was funny. If you guys know, I think it was after our second show yesterday. I think it was on my way to church, maybe even, that the House passed the budget, now goes on to the Senate. And I just think it's funny when we get these ghetto folks that I don't know how they get elected. I truly don't. What kind of district would elect some of these people that are just really anti-American, don't understand what our founders intended, don't understand, the values and the richness of this country? Listen.
But we're in the minority. But so long as we stand strong and not one Democrat falters, let me tell you, there are going to be Republicans that don't want to vote for this. But we're in the minority. But so long as we stand strong and not one Democrat falters, let me tell you, there are going to be Republicans that don't want to vote for this, and they can't lose more than one vote. So long as we stand together and so long as we're here, and the Republicans, they're dysfunctional. They can't get this done by themselves.
Is this a preview to how Democrats will message leading up to 2026? Saying fuck off.
But we're in the...
So, according to her, they weren't going to be able to agree in Congress. I think the only one that voted against it was Thomas Massey, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm getting some stuff confused, but yes. And Democrats are going out there and again pushing a false narrative. Oh, they're killing grandma. They're killing, they're taking away medical care from disabled children. It's funny. They always use these kids for props when they're lying, but never did they go and raise up a prop of a disabled child that was injured from vaccines, have they? You never notice that? Like, let's speak some truth to fact. Over here. It's just absolutely ridiculous. We got a little good news. We've covered over the last couple of weeks some of the Tesla dealerships that have been torched on, I think the one in Portland, Oregon was torched on Inauguration Day, January 20th. We were actually in DC, not in Portland. And then it was shot up over the weekend. And there's been multiple cases, even people putting swastikas on Teslas around New York and other places. Check this one. The Loveland Police Department in Colorado announced they have arrested Lucy Grace Nelson for the alleged repeated vandalization and attempted arson of the Loveland Tesla dealership. And I don't have a picture of this person, but let me read some of this to you. On Monday, February 24th, 2025, just before midnight, the Loveland Police Department arrested a 40-year-old Lucy Grace Nelson. The arrest was based on probable cause obtained through an extensive investigation, which started January 29th. This arrest comes after the Loveland Tesla dealership was vandalized several times with incendiary devices discovered on the scene. On Monday evening, Nelson returned to Loveland Tesla while in possession of additional incendiary devices, along with materials attributed to vandalism. Detectives apprehended Nelson prior to further damage occurring. Nelson was booked in the Larimer County Jail on the following charges: CRS 1812-1094, explosives or incendiary devices used during a felony, class 2 felony, criminal mischief, class 6 felony, and criminal attempt to commit class 3 felony, which is a felony. Says Nelson's booking photo can be obtained through the records department of the Larimer County Sheriff's Office. Magistrate Sage issued a $100,000 cash bond. I think we're going to see more of this. These people, I just can't imagine that. I mean, it reminds me of like the cuck boy Dallas Blanchard when he destroyed downtown when he was literally on camera throwing paint on downtown Fresno because he didn't want, really affecting small businesses who is going to have to do the cleanup and deal with it. But 40 years old, think about that. 40 years old, you're bringing incendiary devices, you're damaging the trucks, you're spray painting on the trucks. I mean, this kind of stuff right here. Like, first off, no offense. I hope this person gets the help they need. But again, it's just so sad that that's where you are right now, that you have to do that. I'm glad that these police departments are doing extensive investigations. Like they said they had been doing that investigation since I think January 29th is what they stated. And, they've been on that, watching that dealership 24/7. And I think we need to do this because this is a form of domestic terrorism. That's all this is. Trying to destroy a business's capabilities of doing business, costing them money. And hopefully they find the ones in Portland as well. You can't make this stuff up. Not just Jake Tapper on CNN, but all Democrats, the White House press correspondence crew, they all lied to you for 4 years about Joe Biden. They covered up his mental decline. They told you he was sharp as a tack, that this man was at the best, was at his peak during his presidency. When we all watched him walking off stage, not knowing whose hand to shake, shaking hands with the air, we knew it was a sad ordeal. It was sad that Jill would allow that to happen. It was sad that his kids didn't say, hold on, wait a second, this isn't right. I want you to, now people on the left are trying to profit off it. And let me let you listen to this before I show you how
Jake,
they're doing
is
it.
very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable.
You have
to watch somebody on stage
I can't.
search for
That's so amazing.
questions
It's so amazing to me that
and try and figure out an answer.
a cognitive
Well, when
decline.
you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's.
Oh, hold on.
Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable.
You have
to
no.
watch somebody on stage
I can't.
search for
That's so amazing.
questions
It's so amazing to me
and try and figure out an answer.
a cognitive
Well, when
decline.
you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father.
So, and we've seen this 24/7, just defending Joe Biden, being part of, oh, hold on, how can I go back to that? Okay. Being part of the lies, manipulating election interference by telling the American people, hey, he's fine, he's doing well. Now, Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson have came out with a book they're selling. Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, its cover-up, and his disastrous choice to run again. So now this person, this is what I mean. These are what I'm saying. These people are fake. These people are all in it for themselves and their party. So now they can profit off throwing Biden under the bus and saying it was a cover-up while they were part of the cover-up. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. The Original Sin. President Biden's decline, its cover-up, and his disastrous choice to run again. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Like any of them that I don't know anybody on the legacy media that has really any credibility left. When Trump came out in 2015, it seems like Trump derangement syndrome hit instantly. The lies, the Russia hoax, all this. Very good people on both sides talking about white supremacists. When it was all debunked, all Americans had to do was do their homework for themselves. And once they finally started it, they were like, wait a second. Why was CNN saying he said that? That's not what he said. He was talking about the protesters. But here you have Jake Tapper, who, I mean, you would think the way Jake Tapper talked, that he was getting paid by a PR company for Joe Biden. I mean, even I remember the debate with Trump and Biden, and that seemed to be like, and I remember we were watching it with we were live streaming it. We had First Amendment Media, Matt on, and we were discussing it. And instantly, you could tell they already had their talking points that they were kicking Joe Biden out. They weren't surprised by anything. But again, they are controlled opposition. And when they say opposition to who? Opposition to America. Opposition to your Constitution. Opposition to your Bill of Rights. Opposition to truth. Speaking of opposition to truth, you're going to have to listen to this one here. Gavin Newsom now. Polling's bad. There's another recall effort against him. And now he's coming out with a podcast. Listen to this. You guys are going to love
leaders
it.
and architects in the we need to change the conversation. And that's why I'm launching a new podcast. And this is going to be anything but the ordinary politician podcast. People directly that I disagree with, as well as people I look up to. But more important than anything else, I'll be talking directly with you, the listener. Real conversations. What's going on with the cost of eggs? What are the impacts, real impacts to you around tariffs? What power does an executive order really have? And what's really going on inside of Doge? Look, there's an onslaught of information that we take in. So let's take it to the sources without the typical political mumbo jumbo. In the first few weeks, we're going to be sitting down with some of the biggest leaders and architects in the MAGA movement. This is Gavin Newsom.
In the MAGA movement. It's going to be 100% crap. What do you say? Political. Hold on. I'm going to play this again. I got it.
Does an executive order really have? And what's really going on inside of Doge? Look, there's an onslaught of information that we take in. So let's take it to the sources without the typical political mumbo jumbo.
The typical political mumbo jumbo, folks.
In the first few weeks, we're going to be sitting.
That's all it's going to be. But this is a way for him. Again, remember when it became the wildfires, when we realized we had fire hydrants that didn't have water, that we were completely aware that this was a high risk area. We did nothing to get any of the debris, the what we call fuel for the fire. We did nothing to clean that up to prevent any of this from being so big. And then the truth started coming out, and he did a fact-checking website that was just all his talking points. This is going to be more of the same. Dermk or Decker, MK, I'd rather watch grass grow. Yeah, I would. There's a few things I would rather watch than that. I mean, I'd probably rather watch MSNBC than this crap because it's going to be the same old. Well, we do have some good news, though, today to share with you all, folks. Jeremy Brown is J6 political prisoner, is out. Here's a little video right here to show you. I don't have a whole lot of information. I found this out about an hour ago while I was prepping for the show.
He said, "You know when they're driving?" I said, "No, I don't." Sorry for the delay, folks. Complicated business.
So Jeremy Brown is out for now, and we still have the one that weighs on my heart the most, and again, I am picking favorites here, is Benjamin Martin, who is locked up in Lompoc, California on J6 related charges. Again, hopefully with some of the folks that we have now in the FBI and with some of the recent appointments, they will get down to it. Hopefully Corey Ledbetter, one of the FBI agents here in Fresno, hopefully he's gone. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that maybe he's in the unemployment line because of what he did to Benjamin Martin. And again, we need to get Benjamin Martin out of Lompoc, back home with his family. So do not forget about Benjamin Martin. And again, go look through the post. Go follow One Real POV. That's ONE REAL POV on X, and share out his family's post. Again, call your congressman, your senators, anybody you can. But Jeremy Brown has been released. Now I want to see this happen for Benjamin Martin. So President Trump kicked off his first cabinet meeting. Let's take a look at how that started, guys. Take a look here. So we're going to go over and cover some of the highlights, not everything, but some of the things that were discussed, what Trump said about certain things. Of course, some of the responses to the media's ridiculous question. One of the things that he did announce is that President Zelensky will be here on Friday. Take a listen in here.
And we're going to solve a lot of problems. We're doing very well with Russia, Ukraine. Is going to be coming on Friday. That's now confirmed, and we're going to be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement. And I want to thank Howard and Scott for the job you guys did in putting it together. Really did an amazing job. And that'll be on rare earth and other things. And as you know, we're in for probably $350 billion a year.
So as we talked about before, It's one of those things where we've been a big charity for every other country. One of Trump's biggest things is like, it's great to, let me turn this off here. Hold on one second. All right. It's great to help out these other countries and a country in need. That's one thing we want to do. But when it just comes to constant, where it was more of a money embezzlement scheme, giving them hundreds of billions of dollars, knowing that it wasn't going to change the war, that without the United States, Ukraine would have already fallen. So Trump worked out an agreement. His cabinet worked out an agreement to get some rare earth minerals. They will be signing that deal on Friday, and it looks like they're getting closer and closer to maybe putting an end to this war that Joe Biden allowed to happen. And so with that, let's just pray everything goes well, that those folks over there are no longer murdering and killing each other. They have lost millions of young men and women in this war, and it needs to come to an end once and for all. Some of the other stuff that Trump, and we didn't get to cover this yesterday, but Trump mentioned this yesterday, which is a $5 million immigration gold card. Now, people that don't understand how immigration has worked up to this point don't understand what he's doing. I'm going to let him, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to explain to you about some of the businesses I've been in and how people have been granted immigration that's already been law. But take a listen to this.
This is commerce. So the Live program, which has been around for many years, had investment of $1 million into projects in America. And those projects were often suspect. They didn't really work out. There wasn't any oversight of it. And so for $1 million investment, you got a visa, and then you came into the country and ended up with a green card. So it was poorly overseen, poorly executed. Then you had our border open where millions of people came through. So the idea is we will have a proper business. We will modify the EB5 agreement. Christy and I are working on it together. For $5 million, they'll get a license from the Department of Commerce. Then they'll make a proper investment on the EB5. Right. And we think Scott and I will design the EB5 investment model because Scott and I are the best people together to do that. So this is joint. This is exactly the Trump administration. We all work together. We work it out to be the best. And if we sell, just remember, 200,000, there's a line for EB5 of 250,000 right now. 200,000 of these gold green cards is $1 trillion to pay down our debt. And that's why the president is doing it, because we are going to balance this budget and we are going to pay off the debt under President Trump.
And to qualify, do you have to promise and make commitments to create a certain number of jobs here in the U.S.?
No, because not all these people are going to be job builders. There'll be successful people, or there'll be people that were hired from colleges, like sort of like paying an athlete a bonus. Apple or one of the companies will go out and they'll spend they'll buy 5 of them, and they're going to get 5 people. Look, I've had the complaint from a lot of companies where they go out to hire people and they can't hire them out of colleges. And you know what they do? They go back to India, or they go back to the country where they came, and they open up a company, and they become billionaires. And they're employing thousands and there are a lot of examples. There are some really big examples where they were forced out of the country. They graduated top in their class at a great school, and they weren't able to stay. This is all the time you hear it. And the biggest complaint I get from companies, other than overregulation, which we took care of, but we're going to have to take care of it here because a lot of that was put back on by Biden. But the biggest complaint is the fact that they can't have any longevity with people. This way they have pretty much unlimited longevity. Also with the 5 million, that's a path to citizenship. So that's going to be, it's sort of a green card plus, and it's a path to citizenship. We're going to call it the gold card. And I think it's going to be very treasured. I think it's going to do very well. And we're going to start selling, hopefully, in about 2 weeks. Now, just so you understand, if we sell 1 million, right, 1 million, that's $5 trillion. 5 trillion. Howard was using a different number, but that's $5 trillion. If we sell 10 million, which is possible, 10 million highly productive people coming in, or people that we're going to make productive, they'll be young, but they're talented, like a talented athlete. That's $50 trillion. That means our debt is totally paid off, and we have $15 trillion above that. And now I don't know that we're going to sell that many. Maybe we won't sell many at all, but I think we're going to sell a lot, because I think there really is a thirst. No other country can do this, because people don't want to go to other countries. They want to come here. Everybody wants to come here, especially since November 5th.
And they'll all be vetted, by the way. All these people will be vetted. Okay? They'll be vetted.
All right. Sorry about that. The dogs are going crazy. Give me 1 second. Let me put this on for 1 second and check out what's going on here. All right. I think we are back. We are back. Got those guys to be quiet really quick. Again, thank you guys. Sorry about that. So if you guys don't know this, so I didn't know this. One of the companies I had worked for did the EB5 visas. And so this was a company that was struggling. And in order to keep up with the competition, they needed constant growth. And I remember always being in these meetings hearing about, oh, we got another investor. We got another investor. What these investors were from people from around the world that wanted a green card. And this is how it worked before on the EB5. This isn't how Trump plans on doing it. So these people would sit there and donate I say donate. They said invest, but I'm going to tell you, like Trump said here, that's not how it went. So they give $1 million to a company. That's what the number was. You give $1 million. So my company would get an investment of $1 million. They would be able to come in the United States on a green card on a path towards citizenship. Now, I would say from my experience with this company, I never heard any of these people getting a return on investment. Literally, it was like buying a citizenship under EB5, and I was there to witness everything that went on. So you got these people, whether it's from China, the UK, or wherever, and they invest $1 million. They have no say-so in the company. Company doesn't even really care what they go and do, but the government now gives them a green card that's on a path towards citizenship. So on this gold card, they're going to be selling $5 million gold cards. And that will be like, hey, you want to come invest in the United States? You want to be, be part of any of this? You can do that. You can do that, but it's going to cost you. And of course, there'll be much better vetting under Trump and the people he has involved. So that will be interesting. I don't know why my phone crashed right now, but that will be interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Again, Democrats are saying, oh, they're kicking out poor Mexicans to be bringing in these rich white folks. No, a lot of the folks that'll actually come in will probably be Chinese. There is a long wait of Chinese people on that visa program already, and from other countries, of course. But again, instead of bringing people in that we have to feed, let's bring people in that will at least provide something to feed us, right? Whether it's a business, an investment, somewhere we can work. That's the way Trump is looking at that, and that's the way it needs to happen. Let's see what else we got as far as this. I love this. Pete Hegseth. talks about the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. And we've seen this the other day. We talked about the FBI now investigating Comey when he was in. Why was he spying on a presidential candidate in Trump? Let's listen to what
and plan to
this
have
is.
full. Well, it's a question we've thought a lot about. We're doing a complete every single aspect of what happened with the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan, and plan to have full accountability. It's one of the first things we announced at the Defense Department for that reason, sir. Certainly, General Raisin Kane, who's on his way in, was not a part of that. Instead, was a part of leading the effort against ISIS by untying the hands of warfighters and finishing the job properly, and then bringing our troops home. So we're taking a very different view, obviously, than the previous administration, and there will be full accountability.
I don't see big promotions in that group, and I think they're going to be largely gone. I know the man on my left. I think they're going to be largely gone. That was a horrible display, and I've dealt with the parents and the family of the 13 that were killed, but nobody ever talks about the 40 that were so badly hurt with the arms and the legs and the face and the whole thing, the missing arms and legs. It was so terrible the way that was handled.
Well, it's a question we've thought a lot about.
So talking about the investigation into the botched with Afghanistan withdrawal, and Trump saying there won't be no promotions with that group. Most likely, a lot of those folks, we don't need your service anymore. You are part of something that killed 13 Americans, injured many others. Excuse me. I also love this comment that Trump made. Again, political correctness is out the door. It's America first. We're not going to go by, and I'll talk about it after this, but just listen to this.
All countries, frankly, all different, but
I love this.
I love the countries of Europe. I love all countries, frankly, all different, but European Union's it was formed in order to screw the United States. I mean, look, let's be honest. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's the purpose of it. And they've done a good job of it, but now I'm president.
What will happen in these countries where the EU retaliate?
They can't. I mean, they can try.
I love it. Again, saying what people say, what people know out loud, something you don't usually see. This will, the America Last folks will be like, oh, they'll be flying flags of some of those European nations before you know it, right? Just like they do Ukraine, just like when we play hockey against Canada and they have their Canadian flags up and they're hoping America loses. That's these people, man. That is these people. Elon Musk was there as well.
We can.
Talking a little bit about Doge. Let's listen into what he had to say.
Actually find $1 trillion and save. We have roughly 15% of the $7 trillion budget. And obviously that can only be done with the support of everyone in this room. And I'd like to thank everyone for your support. Thank you very much. This can only be done with your support. So it's really, Doge is a support function for the president and for the agencies and departments to help achieve those savings and to effectively find 15% in reduction in fraud and waste. And we bring the receipts. So people say, like, well, is this real? Just go to doge.gov. We line item by line item, we specify each item. So, and I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September. But we can do it, and we will do it.
We can do it, and we will do it. Even admits to the mistake and said, hey, we're going to run into this. But if you look at this savings, and more than anything, If you want to know if something's good for America, if it's good for you, an American citizen, just look if Democrats oppose it. If Democrats oppose it, then you need to strongly support it. I mean, just look. They've been going full bore, saying, "Oh my God, these poor employees! Oh my God, they're shutting off transgender operas to Serbia or whatever country that was." This is what I mean. I mean, this is where Democrats have placed their loyalty, have placed their belonging, and it's not something we need to deal with. It's just not. It's just not. It's absolutely insane, and glad to have Elon up here. I like this too because you know that they still allow fake news into these, and they just clown him every time. Listen to what the reporter says and how Trump responds here.
Ask me or Elon. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Musk. President Trump put out a Truth Social today saying that everybody in the cabinet was happy with you. I just wondered if you had heard otherwise, and if you had heard anything about members of the cabinet who weren't happy with the way things were going, and if so, what are you doing to address those any dissatisfaction?
Hey, Elon, let the cabinet speak just for a second. Anybody unhappy with Elon? If you are, we'll throw him out of here. Is anybody unhappy? We have a lot of respect for Elon and that he's doing this. And some disagree a little bit, but I will tell you, for the most part, I think everyone's not only happy, they're thrilled.
That was great. Let the cabinet speak because, again, the fake news wants to put it in your mind that, hey, Elon Musk is doing a bad job. What he's doing isn't saving you any money. What he's doing, people need to realize everything he's cutting, you as a taxpayer pay for. It might not be saving you money today, but in the long run it is because we continue to print money to pay for these things. We talked about Medicaid yesterday. We did the math on Medicaid. Medicaid has some serious problems and needs some serious cuts. You shouldn't be able to be a able-bodied person and only want to work, I'll work 12 hours this week and taxpayers will pay for my health care. It's not an entitlement. I'm sorry. It's just not. You know, people say healthcare is a human right. No, what is a human right is you paying for it. Yes, if you are disabled, we have programs for that. And I'm not talking disabled as in the alphabet cult, because I think that's part of what they're going for, is to just be on the dole the whole time. Well, I'm transgender. Give me Social Security. Give me disability. No, I'm talking that you're actually disabled. There's a lot of fraud and abuse in a lot of these departments, whether it's the Department of Education, USAID, and we're cleaning this up. I mean, for the first time, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. I really didn't. All I've done since I was grown up, many of you were trained and believed that it was necessary to spend billions and trillions of dollars on other countries' foreign aid. That, hey, that's your job. No, that's really not when it comes at the expense of our country. Again, like I said, clean up our mess, got money left over, let's help you out. I mean, obviously, if there's a natural disaster, if there's something going on, but these forever wars that we get ourselves into, literally there's multiple countries that we provide more finances than their own economy. Like, done. Figure it out, guys. Figure it out. If we want to send some ambassadors or something over there to give them some coaching lessons, teach them this is how you do it, this is what you need to do, that's another story. But to sit there and just continuing to drain off the American taxpayers. Another thing they're trying to say is the measles outbreak. So the media is reporting right now that a child, I believe in Texas, died of the measles. And I love the way RFK Jr. shuts them down right here. Because listen to what he says. And again, the media won't report this. I've been hearing about measles on my feeds almost like I did COVID. Now listen to this.
We are following the measles epidemic. There's 124 people who have contracted measles at this point, mainly in Gaines County, Texas. Mainly, we're told, in the Mennonite community. There are 2 people who have died, but we're watching it, and there are about 20 people hospitalized, mainly for quarantine. We're watching it. We put out a post on it yesterday, and we're going to continue to follow it. Incidentally, there have been 4 measles outbreaks this year. In this country last year, there were 16. So it's not unusual. We have
4 measles outbreaks in this country this year. Last year, there was 16. You don't hear the media talking about last year having 16 measles outbreaks. We don't want anybody to have measles. But this is what the left is now using because they want to go, oh, this is somehow because of RFK Jr. or the Trump administration. No, we had 16 last year. And this year we've had 4 outbreaks. He's got the numbers. He said 2 died. What did he say? 20 or 28 are in the hospital quarantined. And they're doing what they are supposed to do as your federal government. And I just think it was amazing because I didn't know those statistics that there was 16 outbreaks last year. Didn't know that. And it really, I should have figured that when I seen how the left was wording, the legacy media was wording their post about the measles outbreak. It's almost like we hadn't seen one in 4,000 years. And good that they'll clarify that. That's why we wanted to put that on. But again, the scare tactics, that's all they have. Same thing, Medicaid, Social Security, everything else they're lying to you about. Listen to this. Now, again, Trump is the leader. When he appoints somebody, he gives them an order, a directive. They're supposed to do that. That's your boss, right? Mainstream media is trying to make that out to be a dictator. And listen to how Trump responds to this because it was epic. Listen.
Part of your mission has been to restore executive control over the executive branch. Is it your view of your authority that you have the power to call up any one of or all of them seated at this table and issue orders that they're bound to follow?
Oh, yeah, they'll follow the orders, yes, they will.
No exceptions?
No exception. Well, let's see, let me think. Oh, yeah. She'll have an exception. Of course, no exceptions. You know that.
Mr. President, can you? I'm sorry. Part of your mission has been to restore executive control over the executive branch. Is it your view of your authority that you have the power to call up any one of or all of them seated at this table and issue orders that they're bound to follow?
Oh, yeah, they'll follow the orders, yes, they will.
No exceptions?
No exception. Well, let's see, let me think. Oh, yeah. She'll have an exception. Of course, no exceptions.
Of course, no exceptions. Yeah, that's kind of like if you get a job somewhere, which Trump nominated him for a job to work for him. And yes, work for the United States, but take direct orders from the person that was elected to run the country. Now, the media is running with this saying, oh, Trump's a dictator. I mean, nothing ever surprises us, right? They are so far down that it's just, they're begging. They're begging for you guys to believe them. The left is, the legacy media. Believe us, please. Check this out. This was from I Mean, Therefore I Am. It says the Trump administration has directed all federal agencies to prepare for a significant workforce reduction by March 13th, 2025. It's less than a month away, folks. Here's some of that right here from the U.S. Office of Management and Budget and the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. It said the federal government is costly, inefficient, and deeply in debt. At the same time, it is not producing results for the American public. Instead, tax dollars are being siphoned off to fund unproductive and unnecessary programs that benefit radical interest groups while hurting hardworking American citizens. The American people registered their verdict on the bloated, corrupt federal bureaucracy on November 5th, 2024, by voting for President Trump and his promises to sweepingly reform the federal government. On February 11th, 2025, President Trump's executive order implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency Workforce Optimization Initiative commenced a critical transformation of the federal bureaucracy. It directed agencies to eliminate waste, bloat, and in order to empower American families, workers, taxpayers, and our system of government itself. And it says President Trump required that agency heads shall promptly undertake preparations to initiate large-scale reduction force consistent with applicable law. President Trump also directed that no later than March 13, 2025, agencies develop an agency reorganization plan. I don't know about you folks. But I am thrilled with what's going on in this country right now. It's unfortunate that it has to happen. We should have never got here. We all allowed this to happen. I don't think any of us thought that we would go in and cut the federal government like we are right now. And again, we've seen what Elon Musk did with Twitter when he purchased it, come in, cut 80% of the workforce. The media, everybody said it would be dead in a couple weeks, that there's no way it could survive like this. Even the old employees throwing it under the bus. And now it's thriving larger than it ever has before, with a lot more services and abilities than it ever had. And I think that could be our government. Again, I don't know how many of you deal with the federal government on a regular basis, but if you had to do something, if you had to go, I mean, something as simple as going down to your federal courthouse and getting a copy of something is a joke. And so it's going to be awesome to see all this transition and everything happen. And I was watching the news this morning while I was making Caden breakfast. And I hear about another company avoiding tariffs. Now, I want you to listen to this. Now, one of the big things with our health, and one of the big things that we noticed during COVID, and I think a lot of people were exposed to, most of your prescription drugs come from China or overseas. One thing that RFK Jr. said was, hey, we need to start building these things here in the United States. We need plants. We need to be able to manufacture our own drugs. It's necessary to the survival of this country. It's a security issue. If we go to war with China, or we have not even a full-fledged war, but a trade war or something like that, it could affect the medicines you get. Check this out.
27 billion a day.
So these four celebrated. Take a listen.
Sites, what's the goal here? Will they be replacing overseas manufacturing, or is this just that increase of the obesity drug supply that you've been undertaking since 2020?
Right. So today we're announcing 4 new sites, 27 billion additional spend, bringing our total to more than 50 billion since 2020 in the U.S. So huge build out in our country. And it's to support our pipeline growth overall, but disproportionately growing in the U.S. And so here we'll be building 4 new sites. 3 are active ingredient sites, and then 1 parenteral site for the injectable medications. Of course, the Zepbound and other future obesity medications will be a big part of that volume growth, but other medicines for cancer and Alzheimer's, et cetera, will also be important to support here with domestic manufacturing. So
that is a good change. Again, they're going to be avoiding some of those penalties on tariffs and even penalties on pharmaceutical companies that won't manufacture here in the United States. That is huge. Let me see if I can find out something. What percentage? I just want to see what this percentage is. just looking to see it. It's estimated that around 80% of medicines are drugs, which make up most prescription. 80% come from outside the United States. And that can be, to me, kind of crazy. How many remember the crazy mayor that was doing the lavish parties, canceling the town hall or the city council meetings, and just getting away with everything? Well, we got some news on her. Let's take a listen to some of these videos. Let's watch this.
Happened is $1 million out of.
Shame to y'all self. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Dalton's difficulties got worse in recent weeks with water main breaks. Henyard blames on trustee budget cuts. Then 4 people were shot and injured last week, leaving nerves frayed, and Henyard's opponents pointing out her sizable security detail.
It's unfortunate that politics are being played, but what has happened is $1 million out of my budget has been cut because of politics.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
Tiffany Henyard considers herself something of a crusader, but one who's clearly annoyed by questions from a rebellious group of Dalton trustees who are in a standoff with her over spending.
At the end of the day, vendors are not being paid. Board approved it. The vendors are not being paid.
How about you be a good leader, bring RFPs to the forefront, so not just us, but the residents and everybody else in America know how the money is being spent.
WGN Investigates has cataloged tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on trips, meals, and more by Tiffany Henyard and her allies in Dalton and on the Thornton Township Board, where she's the supervisor. Township credit card records show Henyard and other officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City. Many of the flights were first class. So were the accommodations. In Atlanta, Henyard and her team stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, costing taxpayers more than $9,000. In New York, the bill came to $13,000. Wow. Henyard has refused to explain the specific purpose of the trips or why they travel in such style.
So I can promise you, excuse me, I don't say this lightly. I usually say people, especially Democrats, are going to get off. She will do jail time. But the reason why I was playing that, we've covered all that before. She considered herself a super mayor. I'm going to show you. She was a no-show at her own election party after getting blown out by 3,000 votes in her primary race, only garnering 12% of the vote, and set her ex account. This is you can only screw people over. Now let's look at the person that was running against her. Let's look at their election watch party really quick. Let's take a listen. I think that's just great, and there is accountability coming. Remember, wasn't it they did an audit? I think Lori Lightfoot was the one tasked with doing the audit, and I mean, she had ran this city into the ground. She didn't care what anybody had to say, didn't care if she is violating laws. So that's going to be very interesting. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about something here in California. AB 1333. Our good friend Cliff called me up or texted me with the information on this yesterday. And this literally takes away your rights to defend yourself. AB 1333. It's outrageous. I'm going to read some of the legislative context here. It says, as introduced by Zeber Crimes Homicide, It says existing law defines homicide as the unlawful killing of a human being or a fetus with or without malice aforethought. As specified, existing law establishes certain circumstances in which homicide is justified. As specified, this bill would eliminate certain circumstances under which homicide is justified, including, among others, in defense of habitation or property. The bill would additionally clarify circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including, among others, when a person uses more force than necessary to defend against danger. It says by expanding the scope of the crime of homicide, this bill would create a state-mandated local program. The California Constitution requires the state to reimburse local agencies and school districts for certain costs mandated by the state. Okay, so what this is saying, I'm going to break this down for you. So if you have 4 guys do a home invasion robbery in your home with guns, and you're running through your house, and all of a sudden they kick open the front door and they have guns drawn, you can no longer defend your habitat, yourself, or anything if there is a back door. If there is a window to climb out of, you have to choose climbing out of the window before you protect yourself in your home. That is the way the bill is written. I mean, it's crazy. I watched a couple videos on it this morning. Now, there is a lot of feedback from Second Amendment folks on this bill who's made the author try to say, oh, that's not how it was intended. It looks like the bill is going to be, I mean, why do we even need a bill for this? Innocent people are not out murdering people in this country, in this state. You want to know who does the murders? Are the people that are constantly released out of a jail, the people that are coming into this country illegally and they're part of drug and human trafficking, the gang members. These are the people we need to be going after. But listen to that. The bill would eliminate certain circumstances under which homicide is justifiable, including, among others, in defense of habitation or property. This bill would additionally clarify circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including, among others, when a person uses more force than necessary to defend against danger. Guess what? If someone has a gun, I don't care if you're at a school, a park, if somebody has a knife and they're coming at you and you put a .357 round between their eyes, good for you. That is what the Second Amendment shall not infringe was made for. Let me show you this post here. And that, again, this is California AB 1333. And the assembly member that put this bill forward literally said, let me raise this up so you guys can read a little better. Says AB 1333 was never intended to limit a crime victim's right to defend yourself, your family, or home. The goal is to prevent wannabe vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse from provoking violence and claiming self-defense after the fact. We will amend the bill to make this crystal clear. So, and it says right here, there's a community note added. Assemblyman Zieber introduced the bill when he explicitly intended to limit the right to defend their home. This bill would eliminate certain circumstances in which homicide is justified, including, among others, in defense of habitation or property. So first off, even without that in the bill, it says the goal is to prevent wannabe vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse. You know why? They know something. He wants to protect those people that they're calling out in the streets, that they're calling to be violent. They don't want you to protect yourself from them. Just like Kyle Rittenhouse, who was an absolute hero in defending himself that day because police wouldn't do their job and defend businesses. Kyle Rittenhouse was out there. And when he was attacked, when they were trying to kill him, he fired his weapon and did what any good American would do in defending themselves, he wants to take that away from people like Kyle Rittenhouse. He says Kyle Rittenhouse was provoking violence. I don't need to bring up the video. We covered that case extensively. We covered the pedophile he shot. We covered everything, all the criminals that he shot that day. But this person is an absolute idiot. We need more Kyle Rittenhouses. We need more Daniel Pennies in this country. And this assembly member, this better not go through. This better not go through. Could you imagine that? You go out. I believe everybody should carry. I believe everybody. I don't believe in having to get permission. I believe the Second Amendment is clear. I know that Democrats want to try to make you beg for permission and pay taxes in order to do that. But guess what? If you go out somewhere, and we've been out numerous times, and people are using weapons, whether it's a metal pole to hit journalists, that person should have had a slug right in the side of them. Let's get rid of the trash. I'm done, folks. We're trying to clean up America. We don't need those folks on the streets no more. They're leeching off your taxes as it is. And now you have assembly members trying to protect them, wanting you in a home invasion robbery to turn around and see if a window's open, and then you're going to be put on trial for defending yourself in your home. Told you, they've doubled down on stupid. They've doubled down on stupid. What else do we got coming up? Check this out. Listen to Mayor Adams today. He's making the rounds today. Listen.
So this is a biblical moment. You know, when Jesus was on the cross, he said, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. All these Negroes who are asking me to step down, God, forgive them. Are you stupid? I'm running my race right now.
So that was it. When I seen that video, I was like, he said that it was a biblical moment, and all these Negroes asking me to step down, and you had a mixed reaction from the crowd. And then he tells them, "Are you stupid? I'm running my race right now." Again, he's not not a fan of Mayor Adams and a lot of his policies. Just because he does one thing right doesn't make him MAGA, doesn't make him America first. He would have to change 90% more before he was America first, or even New York City first. They believe in all these socialist programs, mass welfare. Those are all things that are destroying this country. I thought this was interesting too today. It said former Blackwater CEO, Real Eric D. Prince, has offered to deport 12 million illegal aliens before the 2026 midterms. This would mean 500,000 deportations a month for the Trump administration. The estimated price tag for this plan is $25 billion, according to Politico. Let me pull up some other information on this. There has been some shady things with Blackwater, don't get me wrong. Let's see what this one. Prince's proposal involves using military bases as processing camps and a fleet of 100 planes. 500,000 illegals would be deported per month for a total of 12 months, for a total of 12 million before the 2026 midterms. The price tag would be $25 billion. Now, I don't know if we're going to decide to do this. $25 billion is a steal compared to what these people are costing us with healthcare, education. They're going to be kicked off some of the other stuff. But the crime, the policing, all that stuff adds up, and $25 billion would be a steal. Think about it. 12 million illegals out. Oh my gosh, could you imagine what the left would say then? Oh man. Check this out.
From the same disquiet
Promises
here.
made, promises kept. I wanted to show you the CBS News report because it was really interesting. We continued to cover where Democrats said there's nothing that can be done for the border. This is Trump's fault because he doesn't want to do a border bill that allows 2 million illegals in per year and funds the NGOs that we just cut off. Remember that was the border bill that they were trying to use against Trump during the election. I want you to watch this right here and tell me how beautiful this is.
The U.S.-Mexico border, where illegal crossings are down by more than 90% from the same time last year. In fact, over the weekend, the Department of Homeland Security reported the lowest single-day tally in migrant crossings here in 15 years. And we have been riding with Border Patrol agents here in the El Paso sector of the border, which covers West Texas and New Mexico. And we have yet to see a single migrant. We have seen Border Patrol agents, Department of Defense personnel, including National Guard troops and vehicles and barriers, but no single migrants or asylum seekers yet. And officials here tell us that the reason behind this dramatic drop in illegal immigration is the new administration's tougher immigration policies. They credit the Trump administration's immigration crackdown for this dramatic drop in illegal immigration here. Those policies include a new measure that allows agents to quickly expel migrants back to Mexico without any sort of asylum processing, which has been a right for migrants under U.S. law. That is currently suspended, and many migrants are now being summarily expelled back to Mexico without any chance to request asylum. And amid this drop, the administration is now also considering reinstating a policy known as Title 42 that would allow officials to cite public health concerns to also expel migrants back to Mexico or to their home countries. It is quite.
Wow, they rode around for Border Patrol all weekend and didn't spot one illegal trying to cross into the United States. You guys have been on the border with me. You know that would have been impossible. I mean, you couldn't pick a place on the border a year ago. You couldn't pick a place on the border. You didn't have to look. You could go pick anywhere you wanted and just sit there and wait. And if you waited long enough, you would see a group coming. Just absolutely historic what we're seeing here. And I thought this was funny too. Rapid Response 47, which is the response team for Trump, posted this. And I just love it. I just love that they're calling folks out for who they are.
Roaming the streets. This memo names.
The White House included St. Paul on a list of so-called sanctuary cities across the country, criticizing elected leaders there for not cooperating with deportation efforts being carried out by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
The memo calls them, quote, sick politicians who, quote, want killers and rapists roaming the streets. This memo names St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter, St. Paul City Council Vice President, as well as the Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison.
The White House included St. Paul on a list of so-called sanctuary cities across the country, criticizing elected leaders there for not cooperating with deportation efforts.
Absolutely great, and they had to cover it. Check this out, guys, really quick. Let's do an ad read over here. Pay some bills. Let's see what it says. This sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built a platform for small creators. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. I can attest to that. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden-Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work for them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of that. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, And if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we are just happy you are on here watching us on Rumble. And again, without Rumble, we wouldn't be able to even be where we are now. We wouldn't have an audience. So God bless Rumble, and God bless everybody who is supporting Rumble in multiple ways, even as you guys watch on here. Thank you. Let's see, what else do we got here? Let's see. Oh, man, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I wanted to give you guys another test. What day, this is a test for you in the comments, what day are you supposed to do a majority of your shopping? See who gets it right. I'm waiting. I'm going to wait. I know there's a little delay, so it'll take for a minute, but I know Pixie will probably get it. Old Uncle Bill might get it. What day are we supposed to do shopping? Yes, the 28th. So let me tell you something here. We covered the fact that there was a group of leftists that wanted to cancel America for a day. No shopping, no online shopping. Don't do any grocery shopping on the 28th. Everything else. Well, check this out. It's now been hijacked by Al Sharpton. Like somehow it was his idea. So I want to show you a post here. This is hilarious. The churchless reverend says, Al Sharpton's DEI boycott plan, 24-hour blackout on Friday, February 28th from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. This is the first step to counter the attack on DEI. Do not make any purchases. Do not shop online or in-store. No Amazon, no Walmart, no Best Buy, no McDonald's or other fast food stores. No gas, no major retailers. Do not use credit or debit cards for non-essential spending. Try to buy all of your needs before Friday, February 28th. But if necessary, only buy the essentials and absolute necessary items such as food, medicine, emergency supplies. If you must spend, only support small local business. It says why this matters. Corporations and banks only care about their bottom line. Disrupting the economy for even one day sends a powerful message. If they don't listen, we'll make the next blackout longer. Our numbers are powerful. Spread this message. So I'm asking you guys, I don't care what you got to do. I don't care if you got to drive on low fuel for a day, as long as you don't run out of gas. Wait for the 28th. Spend all your things. We've been putting stuff off, even some groceries that I would like to have. I'm saying, you know what, on the 28th, which is actually me and Rachel's 21st anniversary, the 28th, we are going to be doing some shopping that day. And we have Caden's birthday party. His birthday's the following day, but his birthday party is 8 days later. It's going to be his birthday party's on March 8th when we have people coming over to celebrate his birthday. And I was like, you know what? The decorations and anything we have to buy, we're going to buy on February 28th. We're going to support the economy. So hopefully you guys do the same. Hopefully we get this message out and let our friends, family, and neighbors know. But on the 28th, definitely hold off on your purchases till then. Yes, Rachel I had to put up with Rachel for 21 years. I told you guys yesterday, this gray hair didn't come from raising kids, from politics. This all came from Rachel. I think you guys know that. My dog can't wait that long. Sure, your dog can. Your dog's in it for the long haul. It's got some padding on it. Happy, sweet, happy anniversary and happy birthday to Caden. Freedom Cowgirl says happy anniversary to you both. Yes, so we don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to have a show on Friday. We might be going somewhere. Might go to the snow. It's an hour drive. Go take Caden to the snow for a few hours. Play around before it melts because it's nice. It's 73 degrees here today. Probably not there yet. It's probably about 69, but we've been having some wonderful weather in the Central Valley. Absolutely love it. The grass is getting green. Everything's turning out good. We got to start our garden too. But I want to say thank you to all you guys who tuned into the show. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you hitting the like button. If you want to donate to the show, if you want to help us out in any way, we appreciate it. To pay the bills, the food, the gas, the travel, all that is thanks to you guys. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you guys prefer using Zelle and you use Zelle, go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. There is a donate now button, and you guys can click that button and your Zelle links, all the links will be provided on there. We will be back later on this afternoon to cover the rest of today's topics. Once again, thank you for being here with us. We'll probably be live between, it's 12:14, probably about 4 o'clock my time, maybe 3:30 my time. So that's 3.5 to 4 hours away. So we'll see you guys soon. God bless you all. And don't forget also, if you want to, we got spring coming up. You want to do some springing up of your house and you want to sleep a little better, go to mypillow.com, get some new pillows, some pillow top comforter or pillow top mattresses, all those things they have at MyPillow. It helps support this platform, also American made. And all you have to do is use promo code Oreo. So God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate you.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce